Yo, it's me, it's the SCOTT baby, and I'm back with my review of the 1988 film Hellbound, Hellraiser II, starring Doug Bradley, Ashley Lawrence, Claire Higgins, and is directed by Tony Randall. Not the Odd Couple guy, Tony Randall. Different Tony Randall. So, this film came out a year after the first one, right? And despite that, there were some problems with the continuity. Like, for one, the end of the first film, we see that the house is burned down. So there's a fire, you see the homeless guy fly out, turn into a monster, and fly away with the puzzle box. We start this film, and we get some backstory on... We see flashbacks of what happened in the last film. We get some backstory when it comes to Pinhead. He used to be human, named Alien Spencer, and he opened the puzzle box, the man configuration, and it turned him into Pinhead, which is weird because some people that open it, I don't know, maybe they choose. I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe they just choose you to be a Cenobite. I don't know, but and then we cut to Kirsty in the hospital, which looks like the same room, maybe a little bit better decorated room, but it's just like, okay, you still use that as a hospital room, but you can tell there's a lot more money put into this because of the climax, at least. And she's in the hospital, and she's telling them about the bed that Julia was killed on. First of all, she was killed on the steps, and somehow her body ended up on the bed with the lament configuration. And they're talking about the mattress. And the doctor, Dr. Channard, has the mattress delivered to his house. Because apparently, it's revealed later in the film, he's into all this stuff. He knows about the Cenobites. He knows about all this stuff. And he, see my mustache? It's kind of light, but it's there. But, yeah. And that's the least of my worries. This is where my problems with this film start. People say this is the best in the series, but there's so much continuity problems in this one film, and there's only one film to begin with before this. The house was destroyed in the previous film, and now it's back, and there's a mattress that she died on. And as I mentioned in my review for the first one, where I thought, oh, they had her lay on the bed as a tease for the sequel, then they had the house destroyed. But then the house is still there. And they write off the boyfriend saying that they sent him home. We don't see him for the rest of the film. And then the film then decides to focus on another patient who's good at solving puzzles. We find out that she's there because Dr. Channard killed her mother and brought her there so she can solve the puzzle box, the configuration. And he gets connected with Julia, who, as I mentioned, was supposed to be the villain going forward in the film after this, as evidenced by the fact that they kill Pinhead and the other Cenobites in this film. They reveal that one of them is a kid, actually, I think it's the chubby one or something, and then they kill off Pinhead, and it was supposed to be Pinhead's last film. Then we're going to bring him back. Julia was supposed to be the villain going forward. They introduce other elements that aren't present in future films, like the Leviathan configuration, and they have Channard become a Cenobite only to then die when it rips his head off for some reason after Tiffany, that's the girl, the blonde girl, because what is it that she solves it and it turns into the Leviathan configuration, and she solves it and turns it back into the lament configuration, and the thing in the sky, it becomes like the whole climax takes place in hell, and my God, the matte paintings they use, special effects, it's glorious. It is gorgeous. That's what I meant to say. It's gorgeous, and they have this big spire thing. It's like, like that, and that's a Leviathan configuration. Well, after Tiffany puts it back together and makes it the box again, it turns into the box, and then Channard is killed. And there's a bit of a twist you're trying to twist, because Julia dies once they get to hell, she dies and stuff. Her skin is left on the ground. And there's a twist where Julia comes back, she starts kissing Channard, and then Channard dies, and then she saves Tiffany, but it's revealed to be Kirsty underneath the skin, and it's like, you took time to get naked. Put your stepmother's skin and clothes on, earrings too, just to trick Channard. I don't know. Here's another thing, is it's disconnected in the plot as originally Andrew Robinson was supposed to come back to play Larry. The character of Larry was supposed to come back. And because there's this whole story about how her father's in hell and he needs her help. And she's going to rescue him. Problem is they couldn't get Andrew Robinson to come back. So they used Frank. They could have just recast the role, but they used Frank. And now it makes no sense that Frank was calling for her. And the question is, would Larry be in hell? Some people say he wouldn't be in hell. He's not, into the hell stuff. But he was killed by someone, like, he was killed by Frank. I always thought that Larry and all the other people that Julia took there, their souls would go to hell because they were killed that way. So I never had a problem with that. My problem was that they made us believe it was Larry and then it was Frank because they didn't want to change the script. So they just switched it at the very end and said it was Frank. And he's not even in the film that long. He shows up, and there's another complaint. He shows up in his skin, and then his skin's ripped off, and then he's dead. But he's in hell, so he'll die again. Here's my complaint. In the first film, while Frank was taking people's body parts and stuff, he ended up with Larry's skin. We're showed this again in Revelations. You get the other person's skin. But Julia is taking other people's bodies, and she ends up with her own skin. How does that make any sense? The only thing I can think of is that the actor who played Frank didn't want to come back for the later scenes, so they used Larry. And here, Claire Higgins was all in. But then they brought the actor who played Frank back. I don't know. It's confusing. And hell just kind of, self-destructs, so to speak, and they get out. And we have a hook at the end that leads into the next film, because I guess they were setting up for a franchising before. And that's they're cleaning out Channard's house. And the mattress is there. And one of the workers go over to the mattress. He touches it. And another worker comes in. And the guy's just like halfway in there. He's dead. And then this spire comes out. This little thing. And it's got like Pinhead's face on it. And baby dolls and stuff. And then the homeless guy from the first one's on it. And he goes, "What be your pleasure, sir?" And it ends. I'm just like, they were setting up for a sequel. That's why I get the connection to the first four films. Each film, except for the fourth one, because that was supposed to be the last one, has a connection to the next film, in a way. The first one sort of shows it with Julia being on the bed with the configuration, but then the house burns down, so it makes no sense. This one shows the pillar. That's what it is, the pillar. And in the third one, the pillar is there, even though it's now encased in concrete or cement or something. And then in the end of that one, they show a building that looks like the configuration, and that factors into the fourth one. All in all, this film's not too bad. It's the continuity. People say this is the best sequel out there. I'm not so sure. I can't ignore the continuity errors between the first one. The house was destroyed, all of a sudden it's back. Julie didn't die on the mattress, but because her body was on the mattress, I guess that counts as her being able to come back if someone is killed on the mattress. I don't mind the fact that Pinhead used to be human. It makes sense. Kirsty's boyfriend is just forgotten because he wasn't important enough to bring back, or they couldn't get the actor to come back. The whole thing is about her trying to rescue her father from hell, and it turns out to be Frank, which they could have done a little bit of script doctoring there to change that around or write a new kind of angle. I don't know, but that kind of throws me off. And it's just, I don't know. It's a good film. I'm gonna give it a 7 because it's not as good as the first one, I don't think, but it's still pretty good. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. What are your thoughts on Hellbound, Hellraiser II, Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. I have such sights to show you. Bye-bye. Go away. See you later.